Hey guys, what's up? Cardfight here, and finally I'm here with an Altmile Deck profile. So obviously, I promised you guys that I would make one if after I came back from Japan, and here it is. Because I picked up some very cheap aerial transcending the heavens Altmiles. So all right, here's his deck profile. All right, so starting Vanguard running Milius. So Milius' skill is Generous Pick 1, Countless 1, move this card into a soul, search your deck for a grade 2 card, and call it to a Vanguard circle, and then shuffle your deck. So mainly he's here for to help you toolbox. He's quite nice. I'm not really playing the Brave mechanic that much. There are Brave cards in this deck, but I'm not focusing on it, so don't really need that starting Vanguard. Alright, next we're running 4 Altmiles. So this is an Altmile deck, so pretty self-explanatory. Next, we are running 3 Alfreds. Now, the reason I'm running Alfreds is because I've been playing with a lot of randoms lately, and they like to use Link Joker, and when I'm using something like Royal Paladins that have text to counter against Link Joker, I decided why not. I'm just going to run it. And so I'm running Alfreds instead because I have access to Holy Squire. It does help a lot. And if you don't want to run him, you can run any other grade 3 instead. And I'll tell you what to swap out the Holy Squires for when we get to the G Zone. But yeah, Alfred. Alfred is nice. You can run something else if you want, but yeah, Alfred is nice. Grade 2 is running 3 Knight of Twin Sword. So Knight of Twin Sword's skill is Countless 1 when his card's being boosted. You can pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for a grade 2 that's not Knight of Twin Sword and call it to a Vanguard circle, and then shuffle your deck. So it's very good for chain attacking, which this deck is very good at. It's mainly how I play this deck. I'm pretty sure most Altmiles players will play the chain attacking engine because that's pretty much all they're good for compared to other Royal Paladin decks. But yeah, so running this. So next we're running 3 Suliman. So Suliman's skill is Brave. If you have an Altmile Vanguard, then this card gets plus 3,000 power. And the second skill is Generous Pick 1, Countless 1, choose a card from your hand as discarded. When this card attacks, if you have an Altmile Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck that's for a card that's not him, and call it to a Vanguard circle, and then shuffle the deck, and then he gets that card with plus 2,000 power. So again, he's used to chain attack. Yeah, you know, chain attacking is good. Next, we're running 2 Knight of Fragment. This is a card that I like to run. I know a lot of players don't like to run him instead, but I think he applies pretty good pressure, and if you attack with him first, a lot of times your opponent will decide to not guard it so that you can get a free counter charge and a soul charge. Because they might want to, hope for a trigger or something. It doesn't always happen, but when it does, it feels good. Next, we're running 3 Benizzle. So his skill is Countless 1, so lost 1 when this card is placed on a Vanguard circle. If you're a grade 3 or above Altmile Vanguard, then you can search your deck that's not him, grade 2, and call it to a Vanguard circle, and then shuffle your deck. And this unit and that called unit gets plus 2,000 power. So he's a temporary 11k attacker, which is nice because it combos pretty well with Altmile. So yeah, we're running 3 of him. Doesn't matter if you don't ride into Altmile, because if you stride into the Altmile, you can still get their skills off, so it's fine. Of course, you want to ride into Altmile, but when shit hits the fan, you gotta work with what you have. Next, running 4 Pure. Pure is probably one of the best grade 1s for Royal Paladins. He's pretty good. So the skill is, when a grade 2 is placed on a Vanguard circle, if you have an Altmile Vanguard, then this unit and a unit in front of this, in the same column as this card, choose 2 units and they get plus 2,000 power. So basically, the unit him and the unit in front gets plus 2,000 power. If you call one and then you call another one, something like this, call it, then plus 2. Call another one, plus 2. So it does stack. It's very nice. It's pretty strong. And if you hit the stand trigger and then call something else instead, you also get the power, so it's pretty good. Alright, next we're running 3 Salems. I think it's Sadimu. Yeah, Salem. Skill is Brave. They've been Altmile Vanguard. This card gets plus 3,000 power. And he has another skill, and that's attributes from that deck. If you're an Altmile Vanguard, this card gets plus 1 grade. So mainly, I'm running him in this deck for the second skill, so you can search for a booster very easily. Since this deck is mainly toolbox and grade 2s, it's hard to get grade 1s on your field if you don't draw into them. Except for this guy, he's quite nice. But of course, most of the time you want to have him as your grade 1 boosters, but if you don't have any, then it's better to search for him than have nothing. And being a 10k, he's not that bad himself. So he combos pretty well with 11k attackers, so they can form a 21k column. Next, we're running 4 Stride Fighters. So, yeah, pretty self-explanatory. We're running grade 7, grade 3s, so running 4 is pretty much a must. Next, running 4 Vanguard Gs. You can run the new one instead. If you're running the new one and you don't want to run Alfred, then you can just run the Brave Searcher so that you can search for this. But since I'm not, I'm just going to run these instead to help countercharge some. And then running 4 of the Altmile crits. So running 8 crit in total. And then running the stand trigger from GPT-01. So your skill is, when this gets placed on a Vanguard circle, you can choose 2 units, and they get plus 3,000 power. And after you give them power, this card returns to your deck. So pump 2 units, it's pretty good because you can hit for bigger numbers pretty easily if you give 3k in front and 3k in back, so you can hit for another increment. And she also helps you make you have a lesser hand if you want to activate Brave. Only if. Don't always want to, so you can keep her in your hand as guard if you don't want to. And then running, of course, heal triggers because G-Guardians. Yeah. Not running draws in this deck because even though this deck doesn't focus on Brave, there are quite a lot of cards that do use the Brave mechanic, and not running draws makes it easier to control your hand size. So there's that. And let's get into G-Zone. So, alright. So for the G-Zone, we are running 4 Aerial Divine Knight Altmile. So this is the OG Grade 4 Altmile. Skill is G flip 1 of himself, and then when this card is placed on a Vanguard circle, you might pay the cost. If you do, your whole front row gets plus 3,000 power, and if your G-Zone has 2 or more face-up cards, then you can search your deck for a grade 2 and call it to a Vanguard circle, and then that unit gets plus 5,000 power. So, yeah. If you're going to use this first skill, the 3,000 power doesn't matter that much, which is why, you know, adding other 3,000 powers really helps. But mainly you just want to flip him face up so that you can activate your GR earlier. So with that being said, we are running 2 Transcending the Heavens Altmile. Mainly running 2 because there's a lot of other grade 4s that I want to run in this deck. And running 2 is fine. So you don't really need to run more, actually, honestly. So the skill is cost 1, G flip 1 card. And then if you have an Altmile Heart, during this turn, this card gets a new skill. Skill is when this card attacks, you can search your deck for grade 2 and call it to a Vanguard circle. And then during this turn, shuffle your deck, and then during this turn, that unit gets plus 5,000 power. And for every face-up one of your Aerial Divine Knights Altmiles in your G-Zone, your front row gets plus 2,000 power for each one. So if you have 2 face-up, then 2,000 power. 3 face-up, it's 6,000 power. So it stacks up pretty nicely. And then next, so next we're running 3 of the Fighters Collection one. So he's a Brave unit, and he's not super amazing, but when you do need him in a clutch moment, he does help. So the skills once per turn, kind of lost 1, so lost 1, G flip 1 card, and then search your deck for grade 2 for every one of him face up in your G zone, and then you can call them into separate rearguard circles, and then during this turn, during trick 3, when you have 5 or more rearguards, he gets plus 10,000 power and extra critical. So his 10,000 power and extra critical is pretty nice, but his calls are pretty nice when you get field wipe or something. And we're running 3 because you can flip 1 with using Altmile skill, so that on a time when you are shrining him, you can flip him and you can just call 2 right away. I don't want to just stride into him because he's not that great if you're calling 1. I don't think his kind of last 1 so last 1 cost is that great if you do it for 1, but because you do need to be brave. So I'm just going to run 3 and have space for other stuff, like 2 Holy Squad Dragons. Obviously you're running this because we're running Alfred. If you don't want to run this, you can run 1 more of this maybe, and then run more of those. Or you can run Saint Blows instead. Actually, before I was running Holy Squads, I was running Saint Blows instead because they are quite nice to have. Because you do stack your power, and then sometimes your opponent's on per guard, and you can just kill them off like that. So Holy Squire skill is G flip 1 Holy Squire. Then if you're gonna have an Alfred Heart, unlock all your units, and during his turn, Vanguard skill, it's for everyone born in rear guards, he gets plus 2,000 power, and then he has a General Strike 3 skill, and then during this turn, all your rear guards get plus 3,000 power. Wait, no, all your sorry, I flipped it away. So all your rear guards gets plus 2,000 power, and the second skill is for every General Strike 3 for every one of your rear guards, he gets plus 3,000 power. Yeah, sorry. He works kind of like Saint Blow, except he powers up your rear guards a little bit, which is fine. If you do try into him, most of your rear guards will be kind of useless except for Fragment and Twin Sword. So, yeah, but they can still hit for better numbers if you're attacking by themselves, because you will be getting that extra power boost, so you can still chain attack, but mainly you just want it for the unlock. And they're running 1 Sea Breeze because Sea Breeze is Sea Breeze. For the G Guardians, we're only running 4 in this deck because G Zone is pretty tight. So we're running 2 of the ones from Product Collection. We don't have a new one yet, so we're sticking with these. And his condition is sort of easy to fulfill if you're not playing against a heavy retiring deck or Link Joker. So running 2 of those, running 1 Dismal, and then running 1 Screw. So yeah, this deck overall, it's pretty solid. You can get your chain, if you get your chain attacks off, then you're pretty set. Yeah. But that is pretty much it for this deck. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Cardfight, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!